60-year-old Alaina Morgan from California is 37.5 stone and requires 6 staff to get her through the day.
You're looking at this huge woman, and you're wondering, how did she get there? Slowly. It just ekes up on you. One day, when you wasn't looking, you're 150 pounds. And then, when summer comes, you're 180 pounds. And it doesn't matter if it's, well, I only had 2 hamburgers. Or I only had a glass of milk and 10 cookies. You're eating too much food. And that's what it comes down to, is gluttony.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
So, you know, when you get this desperately ill, you're in trouble. And there's not anything anybody can do for you. You either have to bite the bullet and heal, or take the slippery slope to death. And me, I know that if I don't lose this weight, I'm gonna be dead. If I were you, if I was 50 pounds overweight, I'd go running and screaming to a gym as fast as I could, and I would do everything. I would take my kids on walks every day, and I would play with them every day, and I'd turn that godforsaken TV off, and I would start living life to the fullest. And never believe that evil little person that says in your ear that I'll start my diet tomorrow. When you hear that voice come in your head, I'll start my diet tomorrow, believe me, that person's out to kill you.
What do you think?
It was difficult to watch that, I have to say.
I found that difficult to watch. You and her are in the same weight category that we call morbidly obese. So your risks of those things is closer to reality than perhaps you think.
Jade and her diet partner Julie, who is 4 times her weight, have been swapping their usual meals in our diet den for 4 days. It's the final night in the feeding clinic, and courtesy of Julie's mum's infamous recipe, Jade's having calorific cottage pie.
Thank you, Julie's mum.
For a family of 4. But after finding a new affection for her fodder, she's not complaining.
That looks delicious.
And by filling herself with food and not fears, Jade's appetite is back with a bang.
That's lovely.
And even Jade's super skinny lasagna is enough for jumbo portion-loving Julie.
Do you think that would have filled you up at the start of the week?
No way. I've learnt to listen to my body and my stomach rather than my head when it comes to food and eating.
Christian wanted my body to have hunger pains, and I can certainly say now that I'm actually having hunger pains.
Yeah.
I'm going to carry on eating man-sized meals. Food's too nice to waste.
Yay, she's got it.
Oh, look, I've got a podge. Look, it's even hanging over my jeans. Look, I know it's only a tiny bit, but look, it is. Look.
Job done. The girls realise that this week has all been worth it. It's time for Jade and Julie to check out of the feeding clinic. Dr. Jessen is sending them on their way with a 12-week healthy eating plan.
So it is your last day, and I'm about to let you go home, which I bet you're delighted about, aren't you? Yeah? OK, let's give you the diet plans. That is your healthy eating plan, Jade, Julie.
Thank you.
And I'll see you in 12 weeks, OK?
Thank you. From now on, I'm going to have a completely different perspective over food. I am going to bulk up my portions. I'm going to start, you know, having the portions that my body needs. And eat it all.
Right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you soon.
Good luck.
Good luck to you too.
Make sure you stay strong. I'm really proud of you for this week, so bye. I'm going to go home, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to be so much more happy. And I think that's what's important for me right now, to be happy for me and make sure that I'm happy and I'm not just making out that I am. We are going to see a whole new me in the next few months.
.6 million people in the UK have an eating disorder. This includes anorexia nervosa, which has the highest rate of death compared to any other psychiatric condition. Up to 20% of anorexics die from the illness every year. Ros, Fiona, Ashley and Morag are anorexic. Nearly every part of theirs and their family's daily routine is dominated by the disease. For the next 8 weeks, they volunteered to take part in a course designed to challenge some of the key aspects of anorexia as part of their road to recovery.
I'm a human being, I should be intelligent. Something went wrong somewhere.
To help our sufferers address their issues, we've enlisted the help of 2 renowned eating disorder specialists. Consultant psychiatrist Dr. Peter Rowan and eating disorder dietitian Ursula Philpott. Today, the group are meeting Ursula and each other for the first time.
For me, I think it started in pregnancy. Being scared, probably, of this new situation, not quite knowing how to manage it.
Ros Hallard is 37, 5'2" and weighs around 5.5 stone. She was diagnosed with the disease after coming home from a busy life in Thailand.
I think anorexia stemmed from moving back to the UK and having a baby, so probably a bit of postnatal depression. I hate myself for my son not seeing me as the bubbly, outgoing, vivacious, keen, full of life person that I was.
It's actually quite harrowing in a way to look at a person like that and to see what they've done to themselves and to remember how they used to look. I don't feel that I have the roles that I'm married, and I would like her back again. I want to see her again.
I wish I wasn't how I am, but I don't know what to do, and I'm scared, and I just need some help.
So it sounds like the fear of change is quite overwhelming.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. Whenever I do change something, whether that be eat something a bit more or just not doing what I usually do, my anxiety levels go right through the roof, and I don't feel like there's ever going to be any end to it. The first time I was aware that I started to have difficulties with food was around the age of 17. I was going to be going to university and I panicked.
Fiona Kelly is 25, 5'5" and weighs 6.5 stone. Her anorexia forced her to give up her dream job as a maths teacher.
When I was at university, everything was about numbers. It was a complete number game for me because I'm a mathematician. I discovered calories for the first time, and I could be very controlling and make sure that I only had a certain number of calories. And I read in a magazine somewhere that you had to do over 10,000 steps, and so that became another of my rules. It felt like an equation that I was putting in the numbers and the output that I expected would come out. Of course, weight's not as predictable as that. I don't want to be Fiona the anorexic anymore. I want to be Fiona the person. It it's taking over my life. I don't want it to take over my life.
It's not even necessarily because you want to do more. It's just a punishment thing, and I then adopted this attitude that I needed to earn my food.
Ashley is just 20, 5'9" and 8 stone 7. Anorexia affects 1 in 2,000 boys, compared to 1 in 250 girls. His bright future as a footballer fell apart after a hand injury.
My dreams were shattered, I suppose. I then tried to get a grip of my life in other ways, and food was the main focus for me then. I suppose it was my way of saying, I don't really need pastas anymore, I don't really need these carbohydrates because I don't need the energy anymore because I'm not exercising like I used to be. It bred from that, and really now it is kind of more of an OCD thing now, to be honest with you.
It's obsessional behaviour that you get with anorexia. Strange patterns form, you do things in a certain order, eating at certain times, not eating after a certain time. He has the same plate, he uses the same teaspoon, which sits in the same place. And it's pretty much like that every time he eats.
It's just utter fear of losing control. Anorexia to me is like a cancer. It's become its own terminal illness for me, and it's just a vicious circle. I'm just turned into this resentful, bitter, unfulfilled 20-year-old. If I don't do something about it, this will be it forever.
I understand exactly what you mean. Thinking, well, I've got to walk here, I've got to go there and do this, I've got to do this and then go swimming and then come back. And if anybody tries to get in the way of it, then you just ignore them and you're kind of blinkered. It's like having another completely different side to your personality.
Yeah. Anorexia, it's like an evil twin, sort of sitting on your shoulder and constantly nagging at you to eat less and do more, and never really gives you any peace. So there's you, normal you, and there's anorexic you.
Morag Fieldsend is 36, 5'5" and weighs 7 stone 5. She's lived with anorexia since her teens, and it dominates every minute of her day.
I have a certain amount of walking that I have to do to sort of allow myself a certain amount of calories every day.
She'll walk particular routes, particular distances for a particular time. We're talking an hour and a half plus. It can be snowing and she'll still have to go out for the walk for a particular period, for a particular distance.
It just sort of takes over your life before you really know where you are.
Morag is petrified her daughter will develop the disorder.
I'm very conscious that I don't want Lizzie to pick up any of my bad habits. But as she gets older, she'll become more aware of these kinds of things, and I'm going to have to explain myself to her, and I don't want to have to do that.
I would undoubtedly describe anorexia as a monster. It can take the joy out of people's lives.
Throughout the series, the group are taking part in a radical plan to help them come to terms with their disorder.
The purpose of the course, as far as our anorexics are concerned, is to help them develop better insight into the illness and understand it better, help them develop the wish to want to get better, and to provide them with at least some of the tools which will enable them to begin to move forwards with the illness, and also beginning to develop a more normal and healthy relationship with food and eating.
Coming up, Anna finds out if her fast-track tummy treatment has turned back time. And after 3 months apart, Jade and Julie rejoin forces as they find out if their swap's all been worth it.